This is Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground, where bold entrepreneurs step up and they put their businesses to the test.
Over the next 12 weeks, we'll push our contestants beyond their limits in branding, marketing, leadership, strategy, scalability, and profitability.
Every decision they made, every single breakthrough, every single struggle, captured, analyzed, and then broadcast across all the platforms.
Every move counts. Every misstep, a crucial lesson. Every victory, a moment to shine.
That's where our expert team of elite coaches come in. Really push our competitors harder, demand more, break those bad habits, and put those strategies in place.
Behind the scenes, our world-class production team will showcase their business like never before. The kind of exposure most entrepreneurs chase for years, served up right here in real time.
In the end, a single superstar is going to rise above the rest.
The rest will walk away with battle-tested strategies, a stronger business, and lessons of a lifetime, scars and all.
Not to mention a whole arsenal of promotional videos and materials in their back pocket.
Get ready, because this is as real as it gets, folks. This is Total Disruption.
Boardroom Battleground.
Welcome back to Boardroom Battleground. I'm Dr. Jake Clenday. I'm an entrepreneur, a strategist, and a mindset coach.
And I'm Michael Labersi, performance expert, business motivator, and straight shooter.
Earlier this week, our contestants explored customer relationships. They discovered how understanding their customers drives lasting success.
And building from that foundation tonight, we're diving into what truly makes a business stand out, their unique value.
It's always been about clearly communicating what sets you apart, why your customers choose you over anyone else.
Our contestants have been working closely with our expert coaches, sharpening their strategies to be clear, simple, and impactful.
Tonight, the stakes get higher. Contestants are going to be evaluated by the board on 4 critical aspects: execution, growth, strategy, and leadership. And the tally is going to come in.
Are they effectively applying what they've learned? Are they driving real measurable growth in their businesses?
Are their decisions smart and calculated? Can they embrace a profit-driven mindset without sacrificing the heart and soul of their business?
Let's find out tonight who will take the lead.
Mike, I'm not going to lie. I can't wait for these results.
I hear you. But first, let's take a look at our contestants' unique value propositions.
We had a pistol fundamentals course, which we filled the whole thing up. And I got the text from one of the clients, Mark, you and your instructors changed my life. I didn't know that I could do this at this high level.
You want the vulnerable to have a fighting chance, or because you used to not have protection and it almost ended your life, or like the affirmation that, you know, people will be fine if they've come across you in their life. But I think, you know, more than just you feeling good from a phone call. And then, you know, I think the context from that is, what about the 10,000 phone calls a day that you'll never get, right? But like, if the why is because the world's a place and people need a hero, like that's a why.
Mark has a cause that he is following, specifically relative to I-68 and what he is providing and the empowerment position that he is creating for his people. That's where he plants his flag.
At I-68 Consulting Group, we're not just running drills, we're building capable people in a strong community. Every course is built on experience, mentorship, and real-world application, because we believe confidence comes from competence. When you train with us, you just don't walk away with a set of skills. You join the I-68 family, because we are prepared in order to prevent and respond in any situation, because that is the standard.
This is where I wanted Chad to watch Mark's, because Mark did what Chad would do in the video. Like he produced a video. He went for broke on it. It looks like a 60-second promotional commercial that he did based on his why. It wasn't as much of him talking about this is why we do the thing. So Mark, even though it's really good from a production value, he hid behind the production value a little bit on it instead of connecting with his audience.
I think with Mark, he was honest that he was kind of hiding behind some of the B-roll But the other part too is he showed up and kind of did create a commercial, but people don't want commercials. Nobody wants a commercial. They want a person. And so I said, you really were like, I could tell you read a script. I could tell it was very polished. But for social media right now, even as a business owner, it's really important that you talk to the camera like you're talking to your friend. And I think what people's hesitancy is if I show up more myself, am I going to lose credibility as a professional? But people see a professional in the results that they bring.
An 84-year-old woman, Miss Shelby, she's amazing. She's a rock star, and she completed this course. And guess what? We didn't take any steps for her because she's an older lady. She did the exact same thing as the one guy we had in the class down there, drawing from a holster.
If you can add in a story, perfect. That feels like, I just, from all the stories I've heard from Emily and from Denny, like I can see those stories being really easy. I'm not sure, Mark, like if there's a quick story, if you want to run one by me, that I could maybe condense.
Tons of empowerment stories. The biggest story is I get the text from our woman graduate that says, "Hey, thank you for giving me the confidence to be able to protect my kids in public for the first time ever." Stories like that.
But did something happen where she had to do something?
No, thank God. But
Okay.
it's about the confidence, be able to, confidence her ability to protect her kids.
So if there was like a before and after, so like before she took the course, what was she feeling? And then after she said this, so maybe that. Like a really compelling story would be, somebody that didn't have a clue how to, protect themselves and then found themselves in a situation where because of the training they received from you, they were able to, and they were, their life was saved or something like that.
I didn't get the why, like what passions you about it as much.
So my purpose is to help build a community that cares about their own safety and security and confidence and empowerment. And we are able to provide that for them.
Through your years of training.
My years of training and experience.
That's.
I'm gonna get in the mirror and practice this.
For me, Mark stands out because he's just really you could see, like they say, it's how you practice, right? It's not what you do on the court, it's how you practice.
It's been a blessing too on authority building and the attitude to which we approach our clientele, and
that's what you need to shoot for. If you think that you can accommodate that many people at that price point to make $15,000 a month in revenue, then you have your business model that'll pay all your debt service. So that means everything that you make above that is just the business owner profit or capital for your expansion, and you're playing with the house's money at that point.
I think especially those events, those must-have events, that'll be that's critical.
I give Mark an 89.4, and you can't round that up to a 90, Mark. However,
8.9. You can't give him a 9.
No, not yet, but he's so close. We'll see what he comes back with after our coaching call tomorrow.
For Mark, I would give him, in terms of knowing, liking, and trusting, I would give him an 8.
Yeah, he created a commercial and the feedback was, I actually asked Emily and Mark to recreate the video for both of them and do it in a way where they're talking to the camera like they're talking to their friend, and they're inviting people into their brand, not necessarily a program or a product.
Did you know that by the time we are 30, half of our stem cells aren't working? And by the time we get to 50, we might only have 15 or 10% working. Well, X39 changes all this for us. This is a wearable, non-transdermal, patented technology that activates our dormant stem cells. So, if you are wanting more energy to relieve pain, sleep better, or countless other anti-aging benefits, get a hold of me and click on the link below so I can share more information.
I think rather than the stories, I think Emily's just the brand. I think she's a success story. I think she's loving this product and helping people get it, but she's also living her life. And it's like, if it's the horses or if it's a new routine or if it's something cool that she's working on, and just let people really get to know her like her rather than diluting it with stories of people that feel like a sales pitch, and just watch her. Like, I would almost just share like, the results that she's physically had. She has videos from not too long ago where she could barely move, a lot of her face, and now it's almost, like she's almost a miracle.
I think if the question comes up, I think she should lead with the product. I don't think she needs to talk about the MLM, because I think when you're building your brand and you're leading, and I do think it's fine to share stories that people are messaging you. That's a part of like changes that you've made in people's lives. So if someone messages that to you, I would share it. If it was me, I would share that. I'd be like, look at how amazing this product is. That brings so much credibility. But if people get curious and they ask, is this an MLM? I would just own it.
That's why I really feel it's important to be speaking from here, not here, like in a connected way. Share stories, which is what Emily has going for her.
You treat it as your own business. It's your message. It's your mission. I think where people get it wrong is when, they're using social media content that the MLM company is trying to. You need to go internal. You need to figure out what's Emily's mission, what's Emily's values, what's Emily's story. That's what you're talking about online. And the product is like, if you want this, if this is something that you want to be a part of, this was the vehicle, builds that brand.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. The new technology that David Schmidt, our inventor, has coming down the pipeline is so mind-blowing, and it couldn't be a better, bigger opportunity to be involved with such an amazing company. And I feel like I've done an injustice of not sharing that with more people, to just give them the opportunity to take advantage of that.
Emily is still putting the product in front of her brand.
Emily, she's a little bit tougher on the sample side because she only has a product. And so in order to give out a lead magnet, basically she'd be having to give out something for free. So we haven't come up with her, try this now for a free or a complimentary sample.
Like if we have friends around here or, people we're talking to, we have like a sample package that we'll send them to, but then order them right away, because some people may not see a big result in 5 days if you're giving them 5 patches. So that's why, I want to make sure that that's just to get them started and then put that order in so they can keep going with it.
It's a great proof of concept. Like, what you have works. And just there was a proof there of doing it a certain way.
So 12 years ago, I was in a severe car wreck. I lost those nerves on the side of my face and had a ton of pain all over my back, my hips. And my friend was sharing on Facebook about this technology, about this little sticker that uses your body's light to generate stem cells. And she told me what it had done for her. And I'm like, what do I have to lose? So I tried it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, after 3 months, my nerves were coming back in my face. And my pain was going away that I had for the last 10 years. And so I binge researched it, and I was like, oh my, all of our friends need on this, and a family. Who doesn't want more energy and want less pain and want to feel better from an autoimmune disorder or, countless other benefits. And so we've been just sharing it with all our friends and family. And then we looked around and they're sharing it, once they see the benefits with their friends and family that they love and want to see better. So I can't wait to have you see the benefits of this and try it out for yourself. So get a hold of me and we'll talk soon.
I liked all the content. I would just slightly reorder it.
I did my best to condense it, why it's important, what it is, and why you need it.
There was a value proposition there. I think she articulated why she particularly cares about it and wants to see it come to be. So I think it was fantastic.
She's really telling her story. And I think if she can embrace that on the P&L spreadsheet a little more, it might allow her to think bigger as a business owner. So right now I'm going to give her a 6, but I think that she'll get a lot better in the next 2 weeks.
I'll give her a 7. I think she is heart-centered. I think it's clear to me that all the coaches are telling her a similar thing. So I think getting out from under some of those mindsets for her would be her opportunity for growth.
I try not to be an alarmist, but at Loving is AI, our value proposition, we believe, is truly existential. We believe that right now, AI and the robots, which is basically AI embodied, kind of a physical manifestation or output of this intelligence, are not loving, and they don't love humans. They don't think that humans love themselves or the planet or the tech, and that frankly humans are the threat. And so if we don't infuse that understanding, that component, that element into the tech stack that is either going to be with humanity for the next chapters or will replace or eliminate humanity in the next chapters, that needs to be loving. It needs to understand what love is and be empathetic and have love towards humans and help humans be more loving. And so that's exactly what we're building towards and for. That's what our technology is intended to effectuate. And we really think that it is mission critical because we don't see or know of anyone else building this. And we do see that the future devoid of this is either super scary or non-existent. So we think it's existential. That's our value proposition. We think it's pretty strong. I welcome any feedback. This is Corey Loppy-Schwarfield from Loving is AI.
He wants to save humanity. He believes that AI can assist people and you can summarize it in that, right? That AI is not dangerous, but it's beneficial to the future of humanity. And I love that vision because there was a healthy fear of AI before meeting Corey, and still a little bit now, to be frank with you. But that, understanding there's somebody out there making AI loving and creating emotion behind that technology, that it makes me feel better about AI for sure.
Me personally, like Melissa said, Corey knows how to do content, and he's been doing a lot of different businesses. So he knows what to do, and he's doing it.
I'll give him a 9. He's just doing so well.
Well, I mean, for Corey, I give a 10 because I know I like him and I trust him completely.
Upbeat Performing Arts is not only affordable, but we also care about making genuine relationships with all of our students, as well as providing lucrative music careers for our music teachers.
When a consumer wants to know what your value proposition is, it's literally they're asking the simple question, well, what do you do? What do you do?
Each one of my teachers is actively in an orchestra, a choir, a musical theater production, an opera production, and I support them in any way that I can.
I was the first voice teacher that Sam hired. And I'm very, very grateful for that, actually, because I was just graduating from Weber State University with my bachelor's. So it was an incredible opportunity for me. And it worked out really well because Sam was just starting up. And so it ended up being a perfect match. I would love to be able to hire as many teachers as possible to be able to help them make a living in music. As a musician myself, I know that making money in this industry is not always possible. So if I can help bring that dream to other teachers, I would love nothing more.
They want to know why you do it. That is what makes you unique. That is what defines a unique value proposition is you.
The musician in me wants nothing more than this business to be a success. And the musician in me wants my musicians that teach here and that learn here to be able to follow their dreams, to make a career out of music, and to find passion in music.
When they're bought in at the why, then they're going to ask you about the what and how. But when you start at the what and the how, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then they're going to go talk to somebody else. The engagement comes from the why.
Yeah, so today went great. It was a little bit different than what I was expecting. I think what I first envisioned was, a room full of scary people that were judging me super harshly. And that's not how it was at all. Everyone was super kind. And I definitely learned a lot. And I'm just excited to implement all of the things that they gave me today.
You know, I got other private lenders I can reach out to, but now I got to go into second position, and it's going to create a dynamic I wasn't prepared for, and now I'm worried about it because we may lose the house and the earnest money if I can't come up with funding for it pretty quick. So I help investors to find, figure, fund, fix, and flip a foreclosure deal with a minimum target profit of $25,000. And I do so because I want to help people find the financial, location, and time freedom that real estate investing can provide them.
I would be more conversational with it. And so when you said that, I think that could be I think going on the course point, it could be a turnoff because, when you start to throw out that timeline right away, it could be a turnoff because, oh, well, he's just trying to sell me versus, hey, bro, let's have a beer. What do you do?
I believed I was going into, I could convince or teach anybody who wanted to flip houses to get in their head and become the Black Tony Robbins of real estate investing. And the theory was sound, but it didn't work. In the end, the ideal avatar has to have an investor mindset to begin with. Right. And so they're investing in other things. They've got a risk tolerance. If I'm trying to teach them how to invest, it doesn't function. So the avatar is the same. It's just the foreclosure product system. I need to be in front of audiences of people that have the investment background and the comfort level and the risk tolerance to put $50,000 into a property they're never going to interact with physically, allow my team to fix it on their behalf, and then sell it all without their direct input. So it's a big ask. For the wrong investor, but for the right investor who gets it, it's like the worst case scenario is I own this house I don't really want, and I can turn it into a rental and deal with it. So that the exit strategy doesn't incur a ton of risk really, but that perception of risk in flipping is pretty high. So I need somebody who can tolerate that. It's the result, and so what I add to mine is what I like to add to that is, because other people do what I do, is that we're with a target profit of $25,000 or more to the investor, right? And it puts a numerator, and why should I care? It answers that question for me. I believe that I'm worth $3 million a year in take-home income as a base salary. And I know people hear that and they go, man, that's a lot of money. What makes you think that's the case? Well, look at the professionals, the LeBron James of the world, the people who are at the top of their game. LeBron brings down $1 billion a year, and he doesn't win every game he plays, right? He has his ups and downs, but the market value is comfortably $1 billion a year. Well, if he can be excellent in what he's doing and make worth $1 billion, I am certain that I can form my system to do at least $3 million a year in take-home profit to myself.
Super important. If you're going to build a business, you want to build a business you're on something that you truly are an expert in. But I think that like his motivation for his work is very money driven. So it has a different energy to it than somebody that is like Mark, who he's also obviously interested in building a business and being successful financially, but his come from place is very like centered more on his mission.
Total disruption. Contestant ratings.
All right, fans, it is time for the first Boardroom Battleground Power Rankings. 4 scores are in, and the competition is a nail-biter. Corey's playing with precision. His human element strategy around AI, it's gaining traction. And he's taking a slight lead. It's a narrow margin. And Mark's breathing down his neck. Driven by pure grit and that relentless hustle, this race is far from over. And Donnie's the dark horse. He's showing flashes of brilliance, but he's got to prove he can execute. Pressure's on. The standings are tight, and the fight for the top is going down to the wire. Who's going to claim that championship?
On the next Boardroom Battleground, contestants face a high-stakes challenge: pricing.
The margins of what my business takes away are not as high as I'd like them to be.
Will they crack the profit code or undervalue everything they've built?
I actually did all of the detailed planning that was required. I might not have pulled the trigger on buying the property.
Numbers don't lie.
You need to come up with another $100,000. I'm like, yeah, cool, I have that laying around.
Who will end up paying the price? The clients?
Or I think we need growth capital.
Or them?
Been a great week. From really deepening those customer relationships to clearly defining their unique value propositions. All of our entrepreneurs stepped up in their game.
Absolutely, Jake. That's why we're doing this.
Honestly, I was a little bit surprised by the final results.
Hey, me too. I didn't expect Corey to take the lead.
We've got some people edging ahead, while others are a little bit slow to execute. But I will say, I was pleasantly surprised at some point by the performance of all 5.
You know, it just proves that amazing things happen when you align clarity and strategy.
Along with the guidance of our amazing coaches, congratulations to everybody. We can't wait to see how you build on this week's achievements.
Make sure to join us next week as contestants tackle their personal brands. We'll see you then on Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground.